Have a nice day. Today is Friday, 31st of May 2024. This day is celebrated and it's famous for World No Tobacco Day 2024. World No Tobacco Day is a major annual event celebrated on 31st of May by the World Health Organization (WHO). Its aim is to raise the awareness about the dangers of tobacco use and encourage people to quit smoking. Read on the understand why it is celebrated on May 31st and its significance. We discuss at the end. From the history point of view, in 1725, Ahilyabai Holkar's birthday. Ahilyabai Holkar, also known as the Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar, was a prominent ruler of the Holkar dynasty in India. She was born on May 31st, 1725, in the village of the Chandi in present-day Maharashtra, India. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Hamas says it is ready for complete agreement if Israel stops war. Palestinians fleeing from the southern Gaza city of Rafah during an Israeli ground and air offensive in the city. The latest Hamas statement came as Israel pressed on with an offensive on the southern Gaza city of Rafah, despite an order by the International Court of Justice, the top United Nations court, to halt the attacks. Hamas said on Thursday it had told the mediators it would not take part in more negotiations during ongoing aggression, but was ready for a complete agreement, including an exchange of hostage and prisoners if Israel stopped the war. Israel has rejected past Hamas offers as insufficient and said it is determined to wipe out a group bent on its destruction. It says its Rafah offensive is focused on rescuing hostages and rooting out Hamas fighters. Nearly 36,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israel's offensive across all of Gaza, the health ministry there says. Israel launched the operation after Hamas-led militants attacked southern Israeli communities on October 7 last year, killing around 1,200 people and seizing more than 250 hostages across according to Israel. It is the Hindu newspaper states that Xi pledges more Gaza aid and talks trade at summit with the Arab leaders. From the left in front row, Bahrain's King Hamad ibn Isa al Khalifa, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al Sisi, China President Xi Jinping, Emirati President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed al Nahyan, and Tunisia's President Kais Saied posed for a family photo ahead of the opening of ceremony of the 10th ministerial meeting of the China Arab States Cooperation Forum at the Diaoyutai State Guest House in Beijing, Thursday, May 30, 2024. Chinese President Xi Jinping called for an international peace conference for resolving Israel-Hamas war. Chinese President Xi Jinping reiterated calls for the establishment of the independent Palestinian state and promised more humanitarian aid for people in Gaza as he opened a summit with the leaders of Arab states Thursday in Beijing. Since last October, the Palestinian-Israel conflict has escalated drastically, throwing people into the tremendous suffering. Mr. Xi said in a speech opening the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum, war should not continue indefinitely. The Hindu newspaper states that India highlights the commitment of implement proactive actions for women and adolescents. Health at the World Health Assembly. Health Secretary Uparawa Chandra chairs a meeting of a Committee A of 77th World Health Assembly in Geneva. Health Secretary Apurva Chandra said that India is working towards a continued investment in healthcare, prioritizing the needs of the various population groups. India highlighted its commitment to implement proactive actions for women, children, and adolescent health and well-being at the ongoing 77th World Health Assembly at Geneva while hosting a side event on the topic. Held in the collaboration with Norway, the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF), the United Nations Population Fund (UNFPA), and the partnership of the Maternal Newborn and the Child Health (PMNCH). The event was aimed at assuring emerging evidence and discoveries and fostering dialogue on pivotal opportunities for the investment in the health, said a release issued by the Ministry of the Thursday. The Hindu newspaper also states that 1.08 lakh commuters traveled in Kochi metro when arterial roads were flooded. The Ernakulam-Idbalai junction flooded in the heavy rains throughout Wednesday. The patronage could increase further it is if heavy rain or breezes when schools and other educational institutions reopened in the coming week. The incessant rain and subsequent flooding of roads in the different parts of the city and in the greater Kochi area resulted in the Kochi Metro's passenger patronage crossing the 1 lakh mark during the past few days. A total of 1.08 lakh commuters traveled in the metro on Wednesday. It was 1.05 lakh on Monday and 1.03 lakh on Tuesday. Innumerable commuters opted to travel in the metro faced with the traffic gridlocks and that lasted for hours in the arterial roads of highways, including in the Kalamesri Idapale metro corridor, it is learned. Now, going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that India rejects a Maldivian minister's claim that New Delhi has proposed a free trade agreement. Mohammed Saeed's right statement came against the backdrop of the strained ties between India and Maldives ever since President Mohammad Muizzu left power in the May last year. New Delhi, India on Thursday dismissed a Maldivian minister's claim that New Delhi's proposed a free trade agreement between the two countries, but said that it would be open to considering such a trade deal. Hindustan Times also states that Sharjeel Imam gets bail in the sedition case to stay in jail in Delhi riots case. Sharjeel Imam will not walk out of prison as he is currently in custody in the connection with the conspiracy case for illegally inciting the February 2020 Delhi riots. The Delhi High Court on Wednesday granted bail to student activist Sharjeel Imam in a sedition case filed against him for allegedly giving inflammatory speeches at the various places in the capital and at the illegal Muslim university during the protest against the Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA in 2019 and 20. Forced to take charge after the husband's arrest, Kalpana strikes short. JMM leader Kalpana Soren during an election campaign rally in favor of the Vijay Hassanda. Over a month after the former Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren was arrested on the corruption charges, his wife Kalpana Soren, 39, made her first public appearance when she attended a ruling Jharkhand Mukti Morch JMM event on March 4. She broke down as she spoke about her husband's arrest months before the Lok Sabha polls. Mr. Times also states that heartbreaking loss of civilian lives, India on Israeli airstrike on Rafah camp. Smoke rises from following an Israeli airstrike in Rafah, Gaza Strip, Thursday, May 30, 2024. New Delhi, India on Thursday expressed deep concern at the heartbreaking loss of lives in an Israeli airstrike in Rafah earlier this week and reiterated its call for the protection of the civilian population and resumption of the efforts aimed at two-state solution. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the banking and finance point of view, Reserve Bank of India to allow opening of rupee account outside India. The RBI will permit opening of rupee INR accounts outside India by persons resident outside India, PROs, as a part of the 2024-25 agenda of internationalization of the domestic currency. The Reserve Bank of India on Thursday allowed the opening of rupee accounts outside India as a part of its strategic action plan to internationalize and the domestic currency. INR lending by the Indian banks to PROIs and enabling foreign direct investment and portfolio investment through a special account, special non-resident rupee SNRR and the special rupee Vostro account SRVA, the report said. NSE Indices launches India's first electric vehicle index. The base data for the new thematic index is April 2nd, 2018, and the base value is ₹1,000. The index will be reconstituted semi-annually and rebalanced on a quarterly basis. National Stock Exchange Index is limited as a subsidiary of National Stock Exchange on Thursday launched the electric vehicle and a new age automotive index to track the performance of companies which perform a part of the EV's ecosystem. The index is expected to act as a benchmark for asset managers and be a reference index tracked by the passive funds in the form of exchange trade funds, index funds, and structured products. Thermal plants fire up a coal as capacity addition lags private sector interest wanes. Coal-fired generation grew 34% despite 6% capacity growth in 5 years. India's coal-fired thermal capacity grew to 218 gigawatts in financial year 2024 from the 205 gigawatts in financial year 2020. A 6% growth data on Niti Aayog's energy dashboard showed. The going towards the world news, including Trump media shares a fall off after Donald Trump's hush money's conviction. Trump could still vote for himself after New York conviction if he is not in prison on election day. United States District Judge Larry Hicks dies at 80 after being struck by a vehicle near Nevada courthouse. Guilty, Trump becomes the first former United States president convicted of felony crimes. Doomsday plot. Idaho jury convicts Chad Daybell of killing wife and girlfriend's second children. Jury to review testimony on day second of Trump trial deliberations. Going towards science and tech, India and the managed care promise. MCOs have evolved into the multiple generations and forms. Universal healthcare is a complex maze, but managed care organizations could be a part of the answer India healthcare seeks. Health insurance as the main modality of the universal health coverage. USC now looks to the indisputably confirmed to be ingrained in India health policy thinking. Aided by the digital revolution, it is opening doors to potential reforms that are redolent of the United States, albeit with the local adoptions that avoid its profligate spending on health. Recently, a notable healthcare chain in the South India announced its foray into the comprehensive health insurance by combining insurance and the healthcare provision functions under one roof. What can be called by the Indian iteration of a managed care organization, MCO, it is timely to reflect on whether MCOs hold a promise for the bigger Indian healthcare landscape, particularly when it comes to extending universal healthcare. The rise of pediatric inflammatory bowel disease in India. A capsule packed with the electronics and the genetically engineered living cells at Cambridge. Mass researchers at MIT who tested the swallowable device in pigs say it correctly detected signs of the bleeding. The results suggest a smaller version of a capsule could eventually be used in humans to find signs of ulcers, inflammatory bowel disease, or even colorectal cancer. IBD is a chronic autoimmune condition where the white blood cells mistakenly identify cells in the human gut as their enemy and decide to attack it, causing ulcers in the mucus. As a result, a child with IBD may develop a fever, lose stools, and bloody diarrhea. These children may lose weight, muscle mass, and may have vitamin deficiencies. IBD is a chronic autoimmune condition where the white blood cells or body's soldiers mistakenly identify cells in the human gut as their enemy and decide to attack it, causing ulcers in the mucosa. As a result, children may develop fever, abdominal pain, lose stools, and at times bloody diarrhea. These children may not absorb macro and micronutrients and hence lose weight, muscle mass, become anemic, and may have vitamin deficiencies. On this day, this is celebrated as 31st the Tobacco No Tobacco Day internationally. The tobacco epidemic in India. Tobacco causes a wide range of disease and affects those consuming it as well as those cultivating it. There is a need for up-to-date data to understand trends in tobacco use to tackle the tobacco industry. Tobacco is the most widely recognized preventable cause of disease and death in the world. It causes a wide range of disease and affects those consuming it as well as those cultivating it. After China, India has the world's highest number of tobacco consumers, nearly 26 crore, according to the estimate of 2016 and 2017. Additionally, the health of more than 60 lakh people employed in the tobacco industry is also placed at a risk because of the absorption of tobacco through the skin, which can cause various diseases. Tobacco's influence extends beyond human health. It is a highly erosive crop that rapidly depletes soil nutrients. This requires more fertilizers to be used, which further worsens soil quality. The plant is also a major contributor to deforestation. Up to 5.4 kg of wood is required to process 1 kg of tobacco. The production and the consumption of tobacco generates nearly 1.7 lakh tons of the waste every year in India. Therefore, tobacco production and use impose a heavy economic burden on India. A 2021 study estimated that the country incurred a loss of exceeding rupees 1.7 lakh crore as a result of the tobacco's effects on the health of its consumers in the financial year to 2017 and 2018. To compare, the union budget allocated for the health in the same year was 48,000 crore. In addition, cleaning up tobacco waste has been estimated to cost close to 6,367 crore a year. These estimates exclude the costs due to the soil erosion and deforestation. The status of tobacco use in India. The Global Adult Tobacco Survey (GATS), the Global Youth Tobacco Survey (GYTS), and the India's National Family Health Survey (NFHS) capture the status of tobacco use in India. GYTS assesses tobacco use in the students between the age of 13 and 15 years, and the GATS and NFHS in the people above 15 years of age. Overall, the results of these surveys have been promising. Tobacco use has gone down in the population groups studied by these surveys. An exception to these is tobacco use in women, which went up by 2.1% between 2015 and 2016. NFHS 2019 and 2021, this said, a major caveat is that no survey has been conducted since pandemic COVID-19. Awareness and control programs. It is one of the 168 signatories of the World Health Organization's Framework Convention on Tobacco Control (FCTC), launched in 2005. It aims to reduce tobacco usage worldwide by helping countries develop demand and supply reduction strategies. A law to govern tobacco sales in India has existed since 1975 and was amended in 2003. The Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Prohibition of Advertisement and Regulation of Trade, Commerce, Production, Supply and Distribution Act (COTPA) 2003 has 33 sections governing the production, advertisement, distribution and consumption of the tobacco. India also launched the National Tobacco Control Program (NTCP) in 2007. NTCP is designed to improve the implementation of the COTPA and FCTC, improve awareness about the harms of tobacco use, and help people fight it. Apart from these interventions, tobacco taxation, a globally accepted method to effectively control tobacco use, is also applied in India, becoming more affordable. Amendments to COTPA has been proposed in 2015 and 2020. The changes suggested in 2015 included regulations on surrogate advertisements, inclusion of films and video games in the definition of advertisement, and increasing the fines for violation of advertisement norms by a factor of 10. The amendment proposed in 2020 would have made licensing necessary for the production, supply, and distribution of tobacco products, but neither bill was passed. Tax measures and lobbying. Rijo M. John, an economist and a tobacco policy analyst, estimated the tax burden to be 51% for cigarettes, 22% for BDs, and 64% for SLTs, much lower than the FCTC's recommendation of at least a 70% tax. The tobacco lobby often argues that high taxes on tobacco led to tax evasion. However, non-tax factors are equally, if not more, important. These factors include weak governance, high levels of corruption, poor government commitment to the tackling illicit tobacco, ineffective customs and tax administration, and informal distribution channels for tobacco products. At last, there is a famous quotation with tobacco, that it may be hard, but it is not impossible. Quit tobacco for your family, if not yourself, because they deserve better. Okay, thank you.